Hi, Steph, come on in.
Howdy.
Chick-fil-A, you're hungry.
Stay there. Locked on the dog, so survive the dog drains. Yeah. For sure. You see who won?
Time today. Dance time.
All right, welcome everyone. Today is Monday, February 23rd, 2026. It is 12:59. We're just a little late. This is the weekly meeting, the work session for the Board of Commissioners. I'm Commissioner Gage Fuller. With me this afternoon is Commissioner Jim Harvey to my right, Commissioner Cheryl Bolas to my left. We're going to start the meeting this morning with the discussion or action approval of the commission meeting of the work session held on February 9th, 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. It's been approved. Let's go to our next agenda item, which is discussion regarding budget change for the UTABA Dam. We have with us Ashley Coleman, Sean Wilkinson, Gary Meyer, Stephanie Ebert. Go ahead.
Hey, well, thank you, Commissioner.
Ashley, you're the one.
Yeah, what we would like to discuss is amending the budget to help pay for some out of scope work that had to do with the UTABA study. If you recall, and I don't expect you to, but last year we came to you that we had these changes from the NRCS, the work that needed to be done as part of the study to get through their review. And at that time it was, are we okay to cover this if the NRCS doesn't, just so we can keep work moving forward? And at that time, with the discussion, you guys gave the approval that, yeah, if NRCS doesn't cover it, then we would cover it. We put in the application to request the extra funds from NRCS. That was not approved. And so now we are coming to you commissioners to request money from the flood control budget to pay for this additional work that was done. It's $26,944.
Okay,
Any questions?
questions?
No, I remember the conversation and, yeah, no, I think I feel like it's probably a good thing for us to do in as much as their involvement going up here shortly with Causey and the work that they'll be going through around there. So I think this just to say, look, this is, we're in it, let's go. I'm good.
Commissioner Bolos.
Stephanie?
So Ashley, that number, that 26,944, is that over and above the 674,000 that was granted by NRCS?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
The 674, yeah, was the grant. This was essentially fully funded from the NRCS
Right.
until we got to this point. And so this is this like a 5% share of,
okay.
So did NRCS drop some of their funding or is it increase?
as they went through the study, they wanted an additional line of geologic work done. And then some of the biological assessment involved more area than was originally planned. And so it was just a little bit extra work, but with the way things have gone,
Yeah.
NRCS did have more money to contribute.
And that's why we came to you
Right.
back on to say, hey, just a heads up, this is above and beyond what we anticipated. Rather than do a change order back then, we wanted to see if we could cover it with the budget that we had under our contract with the consultant. And turns out here we are, asking for just a little bit more to cover the rest of this.
Got it.
So
So if we don't approve this, what happens?
we don't approve this, then we will, I guess in engineering, be looking for other ways to fund this.
Well, and that comes out of their department, yeah, I like the suggestion.
Yeah,
We're not able to complete the study, is that correct?
I just,
yeah, I mean, the work's it's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they kept moving forward with our green light.
okay,
And it's moving along great. It's gonna go into public comment. It's nearly done. And then we'll be looking at requesting funds for construction here probably this fall. But the contractor we've had has done a great job. They've really done their best to keep on a budget. It was just some feedback they got from NRCS that required additional work. And they've jumped through all the shutdown hoops and
Yeah.
helped us all along the way.
I was just gonna bring that up. Thank you for bringing that up, Ashley, because keep in mind, we had the whole Doge exercise of last fall
Yeah.
that really created some significant complexities as far as who to contact and how long things took, and it was very, very challenging to work through that restructuring, so
well, we've got too much invested in this now to let it
Mhm,
drop.
yeah.
So
we're basically.
that's a short answer.
Yeah.
Commissioner Bowles, you okay with it?
Yep.
Commissioner Harvey,
I'm okay with it.
all right, sounds like you got it.
Okay.
We need to do a budget amendment then?
I will send one over.
Got it. Okay, is that it?
Okay, that is it. Thank you.
Wow, you guys are easy.
We try to be.
Commissioners, the 1 o'clock has been canceled.
Motion to saunter,
Second.
All those in favor?
aye?
Aye, motion carries. We'll saunter till 1:30.
just while you're sauntering, can I bring up an administrative question?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's getting to be
We're now in our 1:30 session with Sheriff Arbon regarding positions for the contract cities.
Yes, thank you. I'll be brief and then I'll turn some time over to Julie and Chief Guard. This is a great time. I mean, it always has been to be at the sheriff's office, but it's greater in the sense of positions. First, I hope you guys know, I know we expressed it in the past, we're very appreciative of the getting our pay salaries adjusted. In fact, it was can't remember the lieutenant, but there was a word around the office. There's at least 6 of our staff that now can afford to get into a home. And so it's great. And with that, we anticipated increases as far as staffing levels. I think enforcement is full or in background to be full.
Yes.
And then also in corrections, it's the same, or we're only down 1 or 2, because you remember about a year and a half ago, especially on the bond, Tom, we were down 43 positions in the jail. And now we're up to down 1 or 2, and enforcement at that time was 18 or 19. And so it's a great improvement. And so today, we are asking for a budget amendment that would affect only the contract cities to increase 10 positions. You want to add, or Julie?
Yeah, we, like the sheriff said, we are full in enforcement. We do have some things upcoming, but we have we just picked up 3 or 4 laterals. 2 of them started today. One's coming off 2-week FTO. We're starting to get back to our patrol crews are where they should be. This additional 10 not only will up the per capita from 0.57, but allow us to get some things back in place like street crimes to bolster the traffic unit, and add to investigations and carry that caseload. So
What is that new per capita rate? Do you know?
What's the formula? Do you remember? We got 0.57
No.
for staffing levels. The average police department in Weber County is like 1.3. So we're a little bit less than half when fully staffed. Ogden City has 2 officers per 1,000, and so does Riverdale. And so we're quite a bit behind, but I think the last number I put in, it put us to be like 6.8 or 6.9.
That's what I was gonna say. I did not recalculate that.
With the 10.
Yes.
Okay.
I also told the contract cities when we were proposing this that my ultimate goal is 20, but we'll do 10 first and see how that goes. But that wouldn't be till next year or the
Right.
year after.
Got it. Okay,
Anyway, yeah.
okay, what else?
Okay, so what you have in front of you is the summarized budget is the first 2 pages. The next page down is just the cost per deputy and how it breaks down in one-time costs versus year over year. And then I put that in just a summarized request so you can see the 5 years. And then for the positions, we did 4 of the positions as brand new deputies and 6 of them as experienced sign-on at 6 years. Just so I could put a number to what we need in lateral sign-on bonus, et cetera. And
6
then
would be lateral.
that's my hope is to
That-
get 6 laterals.
yes.
Those are the 135s.
And then the next 2 are the impact to the contract cities. One with the red on top is with the additional 10. The next one down is the original budget to the contracts. So those are
So-
all the details.
That's a lot, Julie. You didn't even pause. I'm gonna start backwards.
Okay,
On the back page,
Yeah.
that's the current,
that's the approved budget.
that's the approved budget, and does it reflect the increases?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It does. So you can see we actually held the line pretty well, even with all of those increases. So almost all of the impact to the contract cities is for the additional 10. So we can tell them we did our due diligence to hold costs.
You don't happen to know or have the difference between, before increases and then this? How much it increased for each city to cover the raises?
Well, I mean, this reflects that because
Mhm,
we
yeah,
didn't
right.
change what we billed them. So this, no, I wouldn't know what it was before the increases, but it would have been less.
Yeah, that's what I was just curious to know.
Yeah,
But that increase, so we talked about this last week, but I don't think I told these guys. That increase is being covered by their otherwise larger rebate.
correct.
So the rebate that they typically get
Got
in
it.
the second quarter, is that when they get that?
Mhm.
It will be reduced by whatever it's costing us. to-
Rebate to the contracted cities will be reduced to cover the costs that are incurred here.
To cover the cost of the increase from January through June.
Through June.
Correct.
Got it. Yeah, okay, makes sense.
So I guess it's not really out of pocket, it just won't be coming back to them, so I was just curious about that.
Is there enough to cover that?
I believe so. Yeah,
The hope is.
yeah, we're positive on the budget so far, so that would not be an additional charge to them. So
And if it is, we could add it to their first billing, maybe?
we could, yeah,
This is all on them, right?
Yeah, I just kind of feel like it's not going to, I feel like that rebate will cover it. Maybe
I think so too. I actually,
because of the position.
because I mean, right now, we're positive, which means they get a little bit of a rebate.
We
So
were,
even with the increases through the
Oh,
end of the year.
Gotcha.
So, just because of the number of vacancies we had at the time.
the other thing to keep in mind, I know we're sensitive on cost increases. But there were multiple cities that encouraged the pay increase, which was supported by you, Baker Tilly, and so others. So candidly, this should not be a shock or a surprise to them. They know what the cost of business is. You know, you were at those meetings, Commissioner, so I would be remiss, I don't know if that's the right word, but I'd be very frustrated if they complained. Because they asked for competitive wages. One city or two may even sent a letter. I think they CC'd us. And in every meeting, the mayors are like, yes, we want competitive wages, we want staffing, we want the right number. So we have, I mean, this is what we've wanted and have asked for years, and they finally come on and have supported it. So they shouldn't complain to you guys.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
Providing they share that with their council.
Yeah, sometimes they don't,
And
you
some of
know.
the council members have been vocally supportive as well.
They
Not-
have.
Not a lot, but a few.
One of the challenges, and it is what it is, but you know, one of our contract cities, I'll just be candid, is Plain City. Plain City doesn't show up to the meetings, even though we tell them about the meetings. They don't even send a city or a council member. And that's, but we let them know what the meeting's about. And so, but
So
even
you
on,
really haven't had any representation from Plain City for quite some time.
oh, it's been years. I
That's
think
it.
the only representation we have from Plain City is one of them showed up for our Christmas luncheon. And, you know, so we do, I mean, Lieutenant Horton, I believe, Lieutenant Horton is very good about keeping the information and keeping them in the loop. But we would hope that with the new mayor out of Plain City, that they would have a representative and the mayor come out. Because those discussions do occur. They're important. We give updates. We tell them what's going on in their cities. We give them all these and we talk about budget items, and it's their time to express concern or support, whichever way. But I hope, but for the most part, every other city has been like behind this for well over a year now.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
All right. What else, Julie? Is that it?
That's it.
Can I add something?
Yes.
So with all these increases, commissioners, we believe the time is right again to adjust our fee for anybody who contracts us. When I first got here, we were charging, I think it was $55 for someone to contract us or ask us for extra, like the ski resorts or whoever
Yeah.
that is. And then we went up to 65 or 68. That was years ago. But Hourly, sorry, thank you.
Okay.
So with the new numbers, with the contracts that we're doing with the cities, it's gonna bring us closer to 95 or 98,
But 92.
92.
When would that go into effect?
Well, that's,
We would present it to you. I'm giving you a heads up of what Julie's keeping us
Understand?
on that. So we're gonna say, we're gonna bring this to you later and when we need it adjusted.
Okay,
but yeah, we want to make sure that we give, particularly the, Echo Center as well as, Golden Spike.
Spike.
Adequate notice because they'll have to
Yeah.
build that into the
into
contracts.
their budget.
Yes,
Yeah, that's a budget item right there.
And
It
they,
is.
you're right about that.
Yeah. yeah,
Thank you.
so.
They have to build it in, so all the contracts that they have,
Mhm.
they'll be coming up short.
Right, so we
Yeah.
don't wanna backdate it for sure, but I think it's appropriate to look at, increasing. Right now, it actually is listed, by rank, and we'd like to change that and just list a flat number.
Easier.
And nobody ever requests the various ranks,
That's a good idea.
so
A lot of times,
right now, the deputy amount is 6360. So we would wanna increase that quite a bit.
That would be the same, let's say Snow Basin,
Everybody.
or anybody calls you for.
everybody. Yep.
Okay.
That covers the fuel, it covers a lot. Sometimes that, I don't know if you want to call this a deal or it's an unintended deal, but a lot of times when people ask us to do events and stuff, there's some planning that goes into that, that's absorbed through the lieutenants in command. And I don't know if it amounts to a whole lot, but most contracts are the fee that ends up in their lap as it's happening. Like if it's for 3 hours on a Saturday, it's 3 deputies, that's
But
what
the
we
planning
charge.
that went into it is not included.
Usually it's not.
Like the fair, for instance, Eli's already started working with Golden Spike and the fair and started planning for that and increasing numbers this year for, I think, Friday and Saturday night. So there's a year-long planning just in that.
We don't charge for that.
No.
Does this $93 help account for some of that then?
98.
No,
Okay.
It's in line with what OPD charges. I think they're up around 85, 90, probably over 90 with their adjustment last year, so.
Okay.
What's the process for getting the fee schedule updated? I don't even know.
It's, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Usually it's an ordinance that's brought before the commission, isn't it? The fees, all the fee schedules for events are brought, and then it's by fee ordinance.
Right, so we go through a first reading and the second reading,
Okay.
an ordinance.
So I should start with legal then.
Yeah, well, if the commissioners approve moving forward on that, then yes, you would start with legal to help you draft that.
And there are a couple of other things, that we need to update with the jail.
Fees.
Yeah, the fee, the haircut fee is different. The prescriptions shows a $5, but it's a variable depending on the prescription. So, I mean, there's a couple of things that. Well, and we verified all the others that we're charging in line, but, we'd like to.
this is more of a heads up.
Right.
We're not asking this for today.
No, that'll come when you do the
Yes.
first reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but get all those done at one time.
Yes, exactly. And then we noticed that credit card fees are not actually listed.
Oh,
They should be.
Yeah.
Because that is something we charge to the inmates or the people that applied money to the inmate books.
agree. So a question for you, risk management, is that insurance, liability insurance?
Yes, and
Okay.
I talked with Stephanie, so she's the one that gave me that number.
Okay, good.
And it is a per vehicle and a per deputy.
Yeah, right.
So we've included that, and the fleet charge is what she said we're currently paying per vehicle.
Speaking of that, Commissioner Ford, you asked me several months ago to look into vehicle crashes and
Yeah.
how much. So we have taken the initiative to upgrade our vehicle training.
Good.
So we're doing that, and some of this reflects those fees that if we have to pass them on, if somebody wants to rent us, then that fee will be
Wow.
included to cover those costs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at what USIP charges us, the county. Deputies are like 5 times, if not more, what we pay for anybody else, like
Yes.
our property management. It's, yeah. So the
Cost
and,
per.
and Weber County, when I go to those meetings, always at the top of the list for accidents, so we need to, again, any training you can do. Because again, those accidents drive up the cost. We're the largest participation dollar wise in USIP, so it hits us the hardest. So I just encourage you to look at that liability. The more training you can do, drive those costs down, saves us all money.
Yes, we're doing that.
So good. All right, questions, Commissioner Bowles?
Questions. The second page,
Mhm.
the total, is that excluding wages and benefits?
Yes, so that's the annual and the one-time costs. Just, I wanted to give you an idea of what it's costing per deputy.
Mm-hmm. So that's how this is how you're calculating.
Right,
How those contract cities will be billed for 10.
yes. And then if you go to the additional request page, that summarizes it all. For the 10 deputies, based on all of those categories. I just wanted to give you a little bit of how I built the cost.
Well, it drops in the second year because the equipment's purchased, and then it goes up, I'm assuming, for salaries.
Correct. I put in that 3.5% year over year. As they go through their steps.
Rank and priority order, aren't all of these necessary?
Oh, yeah, they would all be,
So what does that mean, rank and priority order?
that's just, I just used the form from the budget. Yeah.
Commissioner Harvey, anything else?
No, of course.
I do have one more question.
Go ahead.
Who's presenting this tomorrow?
Me and Lieutenant Ensley, is that right? Yes. Yeah,
So is this on the agenda tomorrow?
for our quarterly.
Sorry, it's an evening meeting, quarterly.
Oh,
for the
okay, yeah,
contract
okay,
cities.
yeah. So I don't think we're ready to take this to commission.
Yeah. No, we've told them it's coming, and in fact, it was Tom Hansen that asked us for to have this in February, so the budgets can be taken care of, those fiscal budgets. So this is not will not be a surprise to them. I'm sure it's a surprise in the fact that they're gonna have to deal with the increase.
Yeah,
But the overall messaging and planning, this is something we just didn't call them up last week and said, oh, by the way, this is on the agenda. So this has been going on for well over a year. Well, philosophically, it's been for 5 or 6 years.
longer than that.
Yeah.
You came to a meeting and we remember we got the 8,
Yeah.
and, you know, back and forth. So they know that this has been
No,
the
it-
goal. Yeah.
It's coming.
And frankly, if they don't want to pay it, well, they can go on their own.
Yeah, no,
candidly.
this is that place we needed to be.
Yeah, this is this is the actual cost. There's not 1 ounce of profit that's built into this. This just covers the cost.
Yeah.
And so it's still a great deal. You guys know very well economies of scale. This works for everybody. But if they have a heartburn about it, I hope that we can resolve that issue, and if we have a chance, we'll go to the city councils and present as well.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. In fact, maybe you should offer that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, there's been 2 that have already reached out, and
Oh, yeah.
Gareth and I are attending their meeting.
I think it's Washington Terrace and West Haven.
And West Haven.
Good.
So that we can answer specific questions about, budget particulars,
Mhm.
the main drivers of cost increases.
Just so you guys know, Tom Hansen reached out to the sheriff. He wanted to just understand it better, and I think that's valuable because he's a pretty well
He's a
respected,
savvy-
he's well respected in that group.
Well, Tom gets it.
Yeah.
I know that, and I might be saying something that's not in my lane, but I know the challenges Washington Terrace has, but he also knows the importance of having adequate law enforcement, and he's got to balance that as well.
So him understanding that, I think it's gonna
Yeah.
benefit the whole conversation.
It's good.
So looking at these numbers, since this is somewhat personal, tell me why Ogden Valley Incorporation went up 155% when the average here is closer to 25 or 26.
That's just because they only have 6 months. in the
So is that the
previous year.
6 months basis?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because they only paid from January through July,
Okay,
Through
not,
June, end
For
of
June,
June, end
right.
of June.
okay, that makes me feel better.
yeah, no, it's not, that is distorted for sure.
Okay, I was hoping that was the question.
And the same distortion shows for the unincorporated.
Yeah.
So,
Got it. And so, as you well know, Sheriff, because you're on the audit committee, we've asked, our auditor to go through and look at various positions in the sheriff office. I think once we hear those results back, which I'm assuming will be in the next couple of weeks, I don't know,
Should be,
She's-
fairly
She's
soon.
met with you guys.
yeah, she's mad. We're meeting again. She's got a couple follow-up questions.
Yeah, so as soon as that's done, I think the time to address this in more detail, if there are any questions, is when we have that, so we can make sure we're all balanced on the same page.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So,
so at what point do we want to actually do a budget amendment?
once we have the audit back, the audit
Okay.
results, once we come up with, okay, is it the general fund 32, is that the correct number, or is it not? Once we have that number, then, I think we go ahead and move ahead, yeah.
Probably start wording it now and get it ready by the
But-
first couple of weeks of March would be
It'd be ideal.
just kind of
Yeah.
an idea to put there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's no reason we can't have it done by, I would say, second, third week in March at the latest.
Well, you do your first reading in there, then then you're 2 weeks, right, Cortland, or is it a week?
It can be the next week.
Could be the next week.
Okay, there you go.
Are you planning, once we amend that, then are you planning on opening those positions up, or are you?
Right away. We got a bunch still coming in and we wanna grab them.
Yeah.
Why this, okay.
Yeah, while it's hot.
You should hear who we're stealing from, you guys.
I was gonna ask the question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, where are the laterals transferring from?
We got two from Layton.
Hmm.
One from Murray and one from West Valley, I believe.
Are the ones from Murray and West Valley, do they live up here?
That I don't know.
One is relocating
Yes,
here because of family.
My question, the subject of my question or the foundation has to do, were they guys that were living here, driving down there, doing their shift and driving home at night? Cause I know that exists.
We've had a couple relocate, some are still out of the area, I think, but Layton is close either way.
we don't have anybody living in Salt Lake. I know that the two from Layton grew up in high school. They were high school buddies. One was in Plain City, one was Hooper. They went to Fremont together.
Okay,
And and one's relocating to Plain City because his ex-wife is in Tremonton.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so they're moving up here. In
Okay.
that case.
Well, Weaver County is a place to be.
That's right.
It
I'm
is.
glad to know that they're able to get into some of that housing. Did any of those housing things work at JDC Ranch out there on
We talked about
2700?
this last week.
So I contacted Lacey Richards and I don't think there,
There was a special offering for 2
Mhm.
weeks.
I think that there was some from first responders, but she didn't say, it didn't say
Which
Weaver
ones?
County.
Okay.
So
I'm
I
glad
don't
to
know
they were
I don't know
taking-
if that's part of if they know,
Yeah,
they may not know.
They may not, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they verify it somehow, but they may not be keeping track of that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of our spouses are, in first responders too. Sometimes you're married and maybe maybe one's an EMT or firefighter, so it could be something like that. We just don't know.
Okay,
I don't have any more questions. Thank
Commissioner
you.
Bowles, all right, I think we'll make sure we expedite this. We'll talk and make sure we get that audit out so we can sit down and have that discussion
Okay.
and then move this forward.
Cortland, who would be the best person in legal to work with on these ordinances?
Normally Brian and Liam are the ones who work with the sheriff's office, and so I don't know how that is divided among the two of them.
Okay, so I'll reach out to both.
Okay, anything else?
No, I think we're at 2:00.
You sure are. Okay, you got anybody else coming?
Nope.
We can show Ricky Hatch here.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know Ricky was coming.
I thought he was still in DC.
I don't know when he's coming back.
Well, he may still be, if he didn't leave yesterday, he's still in DC.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it now.
Cause we got 12, 15 inches of snow and 80-mile-an-hour winds. That's why I got out of there early.
Did it?
Oh, it was, yeah. Yeah, they said there's 9,000 flight cancellation.
Jane works for JetBlue and she's worked all day yesterday and all day today, just guarantee, all hands on deck kind of a thing.
Yes. Well, Sheriff, since you're here, you got we probably should wait for Stephanie. Let's wait for Stephanie.
Pause for a moment.
Do you want any of this stuff emailed or
Yes. Please,
all of it
let me know this away.
Good.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
to all three of
Chief,
you?
were you working in
Please.
Olympics? What other agencies do you remember?
We had federal enforcement from all over the country. It was national parks, US Forest Service, FBI, DEA, ATF, Secret Service, National Guard.
Did you have, there wasn't any venue in Davis County or Box Elder County, were they helping too?
Yes,
Morgan County, might be Morgan.
yeah, it was all hands on deck. We were working 7 days a week, 10, 12-hour shifts because of 9/11.
9/11. They brought in France, they brought in Austria, they brought in Belgium to help.
We had a very significant amount of law enforcement in the state of Utah. Northern part.
There she is.
Which all matters though too, when you think about that, that all matters too, where you bill them. Where you
We can get on it that
house
way.
them. Not just, it's not just volunteers, but it's
9,000.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was a major
They'll
operation.
actually call.
yeah, the one thing is good though, is that University of Utah had 1,200 student housing that they used for the Olympics for the village. They'll have 12,000.
Yeah, he said he was getting on a plane. I talked to him.
Geez.
So
about an hour
enough,
ago.
You get on
I'll be
today
able to
then?
do some
Yeah.
other stuff
What
there
happened?
too, so that's gonna be a good help.
That'd be good.
Cause I know they use Weaver State, some of the student housing up
They
there.
kick the students out?
They closed the school, they postponed that quarter of that semester.
Really?
School and set it back 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and so instead of school starting in January, it starts like the middle of March, last semester. And then
Everybody.
the students still, I don't know what the students do, but they stay, a lot of them, they said,
Okay.
are success blamed because the students stayed, didn't stay in their place because they were kicked out, but they found housing, couch surf or something, and they stayed and volunteered.
Yeah.
We
So
to be surplus last
it's
year.
really fascinating.
Okay, you ready, Sheriff? All right, let's go to our 2 o'clock. I think we're still going, aren't we? Yep. Sheriff's Office Budget Update. Sheriff Arbon's with us, Julie Stoddard's with us, Stephanie Ebert, Ricky Hatch is on an airplane, I just found out, so. Sheriff, go ahead.
Yep, there was a request on the progress of
Yeah.
the $400,000.
Yeah.
And so we are covered.
Thank you.
Julie.
Okay, so the first line item is just the number of participants, that travel to ACA. It is an estimate based on last year's spend. We don't have actuals until the travel is complete, so I included that as an estimate. We have some training where we got some spots donated from other counties, which
Good.
is great. And then bringing Holly Doyle rather than sending people to her. There was some savings there, but by far the majority is from the annualized hires. And so what I did is basically put each position, what we had budgeted and what we hired for, and then a prorating percentage based on when they start. So how much of the budget would be used. So we're at 170,000 on the hires we've made, and well, with 2 of them being lieutenant promotions.
Can you help, sorry, Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
can you help me with this?
Yes.
You're hiring more positions. You're about full in enforcement.
Mhm.
You're about, or they're in the pipeline, or you're about full in,
Yeah.
so help me understand. Savings on filled positions, so you're, how did you arrive at that figure?
So with each position in the budget, there is a line item showing this is how much we budgeted. So I am taking that same line and putting, okay, what did we hire that person at versus what it was budgeted for?
Okay,
And looking at, and I'm not adjusting the benefits at all, like the health insurance, or there could be more savings if they are single.
There would
for
be.
instance. But I'm really just focused on the wage.
got it.
So I'm calculating it really based on the wage and how long, when they're actually coming on. So you see a couple with the start date of today, yeah. And there's a couple that haven't yet brought on, and there are several others, but I don't have the final paperwork yet on them. And so I'll just add those as we hire them.
One question.
Go ahead.
So should the start date be a factor because they're gonna be working the whole year in the future?
Right, going forward, but for this year, savings. The start date, because they just started today, I have a Month
6
and-
weeks, month.
2/3 of savings in addition to the savings based on the salary. Because we didn't pay them in January.
Right, I get that.
So I think Commissioner Bowles is right, because we're looking for ongoing. 400,000 was
Ongoing.
ongoing money, and so. Next year, we're gonna be short 400,000 again, if we didn't make
If
any
we don't do
changes.
Ongoing.
We would be short 400,000 again, and you wouldn't experience that 1 month of savings.
Right.
Okay.
In the next year, so I don't think that the prorated
Okay,
percentage.
I can remove that.
I think remove that, but you'll wanna keep in there the differences, right?
Yeah, for
Except-
sure.
Right, except if somebody comes in lower than the
Yeah.
other person left.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we typically, what we like to do is a rolling 12-month period.
Okay.
So what does that look like for a whole 12 months?
Okay.
Not just if they're started late, so. I think-
Yeah, I'll tweak that a little bit.
Now, here's a
But-
question, does it make any difference, does it make any sense to factor in their insurance, or is that just all over? Sometimes it's single, sometimes it's families, like, is it just,
I think it's helpful.
Not relevant?
I think it's helpful because it does make a big difference.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we do figure that in
Mhm.
to our budget, so
Yeah,
if we experience the savings.
as we know about them, but
I think
as
that's
these
okay.
were just barely coming on, we don't even know what they're gonna.
Right.
So I'm
so
just holding the medical and dental
at family?
at family.
Oh, okay.
So there's potentially more savings, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I think
So,
about that,
so if anything, you've overestimated this,
the insurance.
but on benefits.
Correct.
But I would agree, this is basically, would be one time, not ongoing.
Okay,
This
so
is a-
I will
For
remove the prorating.
prorate percentages.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great analysis for one time.
Yeah.
But we really.
But yeah, I mean, we're still, well on our way.
Yeah.
So I'll remove that prorating for the next update.
So I don't recognize every name on here, but I didn't know that Krager left or Fabric.
No, they
No,
got promoted.
Promoted. I thought these were all.
Yeah, no, these are, so they're safe.
Then walk me through these.
Okay,
It
so
looks the same to me.
the only two promotions are those
Are
two.
those two that I know?
Rest are promotions, so we had budgeted those lieutenant positions based on
Just
what,
start with the top one. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to understand. So the top one, what are those numbers?
okay, so
Who's Taylor and,
so we hired an enforcement lateral.
okay.
It was in the budget at $31. In
okay,
this case, we actually
Okay.
hired him higher than the 31, and so
Okay.
it's actually a negative.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to make sure I included those so that we got a true.
Yeah,
So the next one down, it was in the budget at 3560. We hired at 3209.
Okay.
So there's savings there.
Gotcha.
With Deputy Wise, also a negative because it was budgeted at 31, but we hired at 34. With the vacant lieutenant position, it was budgeted at 5652 because of the person who
Mhm.
had it previously. But coming in at the 5181, so there's.
Promotion made Krager more money, but not. what the
Correct.
Vacancy,
And eventually we will have
yep,
Krager's replacement, and there'll probably be some savings
Yep.
there.
gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And then, so the same with Kuberki. And then the next bunch
He
are
had
all,
one of your oldest tenured guys.
Yeah,
He just got promoted.
He's been there 30 years.
no,
no,
I'm thinking his dad.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking of his dad.
Wait, how
Sorry,
is that?
Krager, Mainland, they're all the Wells, sorry.
Dad Prager has been retired for a while.
Okay, that's what I was
does
thinking.
that make sense? Sure.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's good
Okay.
analysis.
And then, the other thing that is not on here is the income that's gonna be coming in for ICE enforcement. But we haven't actually finished the agreement, and so I haven't actually seen money coming in yet, so I didn't wanna count it until we get that agreement finalized. But we're actually gonna start seeing, right now we billed out 10,000. So we're gonna see some additional revenue based on those ICE encounters.
Didn't we get a one time at the beginning?
We did.
We got one time money.
So this would be, but this would be
Right.
ongoing as those
Revenue.
two, that have signed
Yeah, I
on.
just thought I remember talking about that. It was when we first signed it, right? It was
Yeah.
for equipment or something.
Yeah, but this is for, their actual time.
Yeah.
So it's reimbursing them for the time, the moment they identify it's an ICE case
Mhm.
to when they drop them off at the jail. So we're billing it, but I don't have an agreement to get payment yet,
Mhm.
so.
So they encounter somebody,
Mhm,
they find out it's an ICE case.
mhm.
Are we still accomplishing anyway? Because
Oh, yeah.
They have an infraction in our county, right?
Absolutely.
And we're just getting paid now to do their
Right.
job, but we're doing it anyway.
Correct.
And is that based on time?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just put it right in their time card.
Yeah.
And then they reference the, immigration case.
And again, I think we authorized what, 3? Under the ICE program or,
Two on the road and there's multiple in the jail.
oh, was there? Okay.
So do we get, can we bill for their jail time?
That we do, we
bill
always have.
From the time they're in our custody to the time they leave the jail,
Mhm.
we bill ICE.
The whole time they're in custody?
I would have to check on that, but,
Yeah, we'll reach.
and we're also in the process of trying to increase the cost that we're billing.
I think you count the day they come, but not the day they leave.
Is that how it works?
I think so.
Mm.
In jail.
So,
So they'd be in our jail anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now ICE.
But
is
now
paying
we're
for
getting
it
reimbursed. Yeah,
Because.
Well, we will get reimbursed. We involved attorneys and it's taking a little bit longer to get the agreement back. Our attorneys had some changes and now it's in DC with their attorneys, so.
I just think it sounds like it.
so I just wanted to put that on the radar as well. There's some additional savings that's not included.
Do you have an estimate of what that savings may be?
Well, it's 10,000 for the first 2 months,
Oh, is it?
so 5,000 a month.
this is a little off track, but it makes sense. We have a contract with the marshals. It's around 80 something dollars, $85 per bed per day.
Yeah.
How much?
78.
78, sorry. And we've been trying to negotiate with the marshals for a long time. We're doing their paperwork, we're online filling their forms, and they just dragging it out. ICE has a rider to the marshals. And so we pay them the same. But Salt Lake County just re-upped theirs, and I think it's either 115 or 135 per bed per day.
Right.
So we're gonna ask.
And
for-
so
ICE.
I've called the marshal multiple times.
Both.
And I've said, look, we're gonna have to cut you guys if you don't wanna come to the table, because the costs to house you are starting to become a negative for us. It's like I don't know if they don't care, I don't know what's going on, but it's very frustrating. But if we negotiate with them to get the higher rate, it's a lot better, but they're just stalling. It's just, I don't know what's going on.
Well, we can always, are we under contract now with them?
What?
Are we under contract? Do we have to take?
We can end it.
Yeah. I
We
was
can
saying-
tell them to come get their people and they can move them
Well, that's
out.
what I was gonna say. Where are they gonna move them to? Salt Lake? They're gonna pay 135.
They'll move them somewhere else.
Right.
They have the agreements all over the United States.
Well, but
Right.
they probably won't find, let me put it this way, they probably won't find anything cheaper than our 78 or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're jumping through the hoops.
Yeah.
It's just gonna take some time.
Good.
Is that still a combined? Will that be a combined contract? You contract with the marshals and then ICE
Ice, right?
jumps on it?
Mhm.
Good to know. Commissioner Harvey, questions?
No questions.
No,
Commissioner Bowles?
thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are you coming tomorrow night?
A
Okay,
general plan open house in my city, but I'm gonna miss it.
sounds fun. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck. See you.
Thanks, Keely. Thanks, Sheriff. Josh?
When you say Josh, it's the one that I don't even know who you're talking to.
Yeah, well,
Are we? I just
He
know,
knows what I'm
I
talking.
just know the last one.
yeah.
Those 24 individuals that we had to adjust.
Not pro,
So
ho.
that's.
So there, yeah, it's the final budget number.
Extra meritorious increase.
Much of the state.
Hi,
Welcome,
hi.
Well, there he
Hey,
is.
wow,
welcome.
I'm waiting at my.
How's your trip?
good.
So I can.
Yeah, I want to sit down and talk to you about that. That seems like a story in and of
Great,
itself.
great.
Yeah. I just got basically just looking for.
All right, welcome.
Excuse me if I-
We're now at our
Yeah. Oh,
10:30.
2:15 meeting. Discussion regarding extra meritorious increase. Emily Wild, Catherine, and Jim are with us, so welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
Emily, the time's yours.
Yes,
Okay,
Miss Wild.
so Catherine and I have met about an extra meritorious increase for one of their employees, Maria.
Remind me again who the employees,
Maria,
Yeah.
Maria Bahena.
okay?
Yes. I'll let kind of Catherine speak to the work that she's been doing.
Yeah, she's our legal mitigation assistant. So originally she was hired by the PD about 3 years ago as their front desk legal secretary. And since then we've stolen her. And I had her send me kind of her job requirements, and we've been going over that in the last few weeks, and it's just changed so drastically since she was hired. And really she's just kind of the epicenter of our whole team. She does all of the referrals, all of the communication, and most recently, I have increased her job since I've taken over to be the center of all communication with treatment. So treatment is like a big thing that our team does, right? Trying to coordinate people getting out of jail and into treatment. And so she's kind of responsible for that transportation, that coordination between the jails, the treatment place, the friends and family, all of that stuff. And I think that's really enabled the rest of the team to focus on the other larger mitigation issues, competency issues, things like that. And so that's been a really huge part, because when I was an FSW working on the baseline with the treatment and all of those things, we get bogged down on, we hope that the process will cover everything and everything will look the same, right? It never happens. And there's always the weird stuff, and coordinating with records department and making sure that the release orders are proper and the language is correct, and just trying to get people out of jail. And that's really how we're doing the big saving jail days. And treatment is just the bulk of what we're doing. And I think it's really important that Maria's taken on that. And outside of that, she's doing her regular duties. And then she's also really the genius behind all of our records collections and our data and all of that stuff. So she keeps track of what we call the overlord, and that's keeping track of every single case that has ever come through. And that's how we're using all of the data that we do collect to continue funding, grants, all of that. So she's really the center of that as well. And so in looking at her job description originally, what she was doing, and then what I've added on for her to do, I'm like, whoa, like she's everything. She's really making it so that we're able to do our jobs and continue to do the important work that we're doing. And so I just think that she's amazing at what she does, and we ask her to do way too much. I think she really, I hope that her pay can reflect that.
So what are we looking at, Emily?
So what we're looking at is her current pay is $24.47 right now, and with the increase in the job duties and responsibilities, We're asking for a 5% merit adjustment, which is within policy. So, they could do a 5%, and it also is covered under the grant, and there is budget in the grant to cover that increase. So that's what we're looking at.
This is part of the grant,
Yes, sir.
grant funding, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, questions?
Couple
Does that
questions.
conclude your?
That concludes, yes.
Okay,
Mr.
couple
Bowles.
questions. So I get that it's covered by a grant, but help walk me through how this would have been impacted by our compensation study. And should it sounds like the position description changed. And so to me, it doesn't sound like an extra meritorious increase is the right way. It's like, this is a different position and maybe a different pay band or a different.
So I don't think it's a different pay band. I mean, we are still keeping her as a legal secretary 1. So it's still in the same pay band. It didn't change her job title or pay band enough. I mean, even though she's adding on responsibilities, that doesn't necessarily mean that we create a whole new job or a job title. But it does just move her a little bit further into the scale that she's currently in.
Okay.
As if she's more tenured.
Right.
Right, and so then my follow-up question is, there were several people in the county, and this isn't even related to you guys. Several of the people in the county where someone's tenure was leveled out with everyone else at that job, right? Somebody may have been here 10 years and somebody was here 5 years, and now because they all moved up, they're the same. So, I mean, to me, that's not a correct argument to convince me, I guess, because it's happened all over the county.
It has. So when I pulled up all of the other legal secretaries, so she is, they range from what she's currently making, $24.47, and they range all the way down to $20.26. So there is a range there. She is at the top, or will be at the top of that group of people, if that makes sense, not the top of the grade, or not the top of the range. She's still, well within that, but she also does have more, or she's been in that position longer than the others. So she's been in the legal secretary position longer, so it makes sense that she is like paid higher than the other legal secretaries. If that makes sense.
It does make sense, but then tell me why it wouldn't make sense in every other department in the county. Are we gonna be making these adjustments for every other department in the county because because a lot of those
Yeah.
were evened out. Because I got phone calls about them and conversations about them.
Yeah,
These two people are in the same position and this one's been here longer, but now they're making the same. Yeah, we knew that would happen.
I do know that some of them requested for increases in their budget, so I think the health department was one of them, and those were approved in their budget. These guys didn't put it in their budget request at the end of the year to kind of make up for that. I do know that the library has some that we've been working on as well that we're going to be presenting to you. So yes, I think that there will be others that are asking for increases, whether they did it in their budget cycle that we did for the end of the year, or now just making changes. So there probably will be other requests throughout the year.
I assume there will. Commissioners, that's my only concern. I'm not against this, but we knew the impact of implementing that compensation study. And we knew that it would level out people who had different tenures. And so this is probably just the beginning. If we approve this, it'll be the beginning of
Snowball.
several. Because I've probably had 4 conversations about that myself. So.
And my only concern in that, to address your concern, is that somebody of her tenure, somebody of her skill set is in great demand.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
So-
That's in every department.
And so, but she can easily go out and work in the private sector and make more as a legal secretary in what she's doing. Plus, her skill set is very specialized in what she's doing there. Basically, when she was working in the front office, she was essentially answering phones. and doing minimal things that our previous office manager would have her do. Since moving back to that position, she's just absolutely taken on lion's share. She's basically what our office manager is to the attorneys. She is to the forensic social workers. And that allows them to focus more on the substantive duties that they have to do. And just like our office manager allows the attorneys, because she now does all the administrative, she sets up the files, she gets the discovery, she will file documents for them more than what the attorneys had to do, stuff that they had to do themselves. And so Maria is just absolutely, plus she's just absolutely blossomed in that position. I just was excited that she was able to move back there and take that. And I never hear her complain. She's one of those just super troopers. So.
Yep, I don't disagree. Yeah.
Okay, so.
My only question is, are we willing to have this conversation from now till probably the end of the year?
Yeah, there will be others.
We'll probably have to hear them anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming down the pike, right?
Well, isn't the defense to that, those complaints that this is a grant funded position?
Yep.
So she's technically, if we don't get the funding again, she's looking for a new job at the end of June.
Right. And I guess that's where I'm coming from is since this is the grant, she may be out of a job.
Mhm.
And we may not have to deal with this. I think we need to distinguish that from a budget change or something else. But so what's your recommendation knowing those facts?
My recommendation is to move forward with it.
Okay.
And because she's taken on those additional responsibilities, so.
But it doesn't change the job description.
It doesn't change the job description. No, you don't typically change the job description when you add on one or two responsibilities. So like a legal secretary 1 has multiple types of job duties. And so you might add to that. That doesn't change the job or the job title. You're just adding on more responsibility within that same job.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't disagree. We may have to sit down and hold court on a number of these. But I think we have to really look at the individual in each case and, weigh the facts. Is it grant funded? Is it a budget change? Is there a change in duties? Yeah, I mean, just what we heard today. Commissioner Harvey, I'm gonna go to you.
I'm gonna support it. I know exactly, I hear what you're saying, Commissioner Bolos, and I think it's wise, but I think this is just some of the byproduct of implementing the Baker-Tilly study. I think it's just part of what's happening.
And pay is always, and when you look at market, it's always fluctuating, right? So even though we looked at it, for the beginning of this year, things could change, right? I mean, things change all of the time. Pay changes all the time. The market changes all of the time. And so we still have to be able to fluctuate and move with the market as well. So, and part of that is, relooking at grades or, market rates or extra meritorious increases or all of those types of things. It's not stagnant. It never stays still. So.
Okay, Commissioner Bolos,
Yep, I'm good.
you're okay? All right. Then we'll let you sign it too. I'm in favor. Okay, you got it.
Okay,
Great, thank you
Did
so
we-
much.
thank you.
Or are we?
No, that's fine.
All right, Emily, looks like it's the Emily Wild show here for the next couple of.
Thank you, Emily. I really
Good to
appreciate
see
your
you.
help. I appreciate you guys' help on the information sharing agreement. We're so excited
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, that turned out good, didn't it?
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Thanks, guys. All right, we're now at our 2:30. Wow, look at that time, would you?
You're just an amazing human specimen, okay?
Look at the real time.
Well, yeah, look, we're even ahead. All right, let's go to our 2:27 then. PM discussion regarding Oracle contract. Emily Wild's with us again.
Yes, thanks, commissioners. So, you will see going through the commission meeting tomorrow, a contract between Weber County and Oracle. This is something that I asked for in my budget and it was approved in my budget to move the benefits module and the recruiting module to the new Redwood design.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're aware, we did the payroll last year, which I think it worked really well, having Oracle do it for us. And this is expanding that and having the benefits and the recruiting module moved over to the new Redwood design. If we don't do it and we stay in the old design, then they will not continue to support the system. And so we'll see functionality decrease or more and more errors or issues or whatever that they won't support moving forward if we don't move to Redwood.
Okay.
So the total cost for both of these is $27,814.19.
Okay,
Just want to see if you have any
That's pretty
questions.
exact.
wow. And how many cents?
14.
We knocked that down. to
19 cents?
Yeah.
I was hoping we could get a deal with that
Yeah.
kind of nickel.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
The
There's no-
old Buffalo nickel.
there's no more pennies, so keep that in mind.
Okay, no more pennies. We'll round up.
Okay.
Round
Round down.
Round-
Round down.
Paper.
Okay, we had that in the budget, right, Steph?
I'm good
Questions,
with that, no.
questions?
No questions.
All right, I think you're good to go.
Okay,
Leave policy. We're moving ahead to our 245. We're just jumping over it.
Holy.
This is like that
Unbelievable.
bobsled.
Unbelievable.
Just goes by so fast, you don't even see
No.
short and sweet and to the point.
it. Okay, go ahead, Emily.
Okay, so I have here, let me just pass this out as a sheet. This is a list of everybody that has used the parental leave and medical leave for 2025. So what I wanted to bring to your attention today is what our medical, maternity, and parental leave states. I have had some requests to change the way that our policy reads for medical, maternity, and parental leave. So right now, our leave policy, our parental leave is 2 weeks. So if you are a father, if you foster, if you adopt a child, you get 2 weeks of paid parental leave. If you physically have the baby, you get an additional 4 weeks of medical maternity leave. So a total of 6 weeks. And that you become eligible after 12 months of employment. So the question has been brought up multiple times that those, whether you're the father, whether you foster, or whether you adopt, you only get 2 weeks of parental leave, and to try and equal it out so that it's whether you foster, whether you adopt, you get basically the same amount of time. So I looked up other policies for some of the cities and counties surrounding us and including the state. Ogden City does not have parental or medical leave. It just coincides with FMLA. Washington County does not have any. Box Elder does not have any. Davis County has 4 weeks of parental leave, so it's just 4 weeks, regardless of if you physically have the baby or whether you adopt or whether you foster. Salt Lake County is 12 weeks of parental leave and then additional 6 weeks to physically recover. So the same as our medical maternity. So they're giving 12 weeks of paid leave. Utah County is the exact same as ours, 2 weeks of parental leave, 4 weeks of postpartum leave is what they call it. And then the state of Utah is right now 3 weeks of parental leave, 3 weeks of postpartum recovery. Now, the state of Utah does have a bill right now to modify theirs to change the postpartum to 6 weeks of parental leave. And then they are sectioning out adoption leave and foster leave and postpartum. So then they would have a separate, like, postpartum leave, separate foster leave, separate adoption leave, and then parental leave. So the discussion I wanted to start today is, should we alter our medical, maternity and parental leave. And what would that look like? I mean, I can give you my opinion. My opinion would be 4 weeks of parental leave. So that would include if you foster, if you adopt, you would get 4 weeks of paid parental leave. And then if you physically have the baby, you have 4 weeks of medical maternity, which equals 8 weeks total, which is kind of around the standard medical recovery time is 6 to 8 weeks. So depending on if you have a C-section or not. So that's kind of what the discussion is I wanted to start today. So this is a list of everybody that's used the medical maternity leave and the parental leave. So you can see the parental leave is more widely used than the medical maternity.
Yeah.
Probably by a lot of males.
Probably by
Right.
Mostly males. Yep.
So the spot number on the bottom is what the new price tag would be. Am I reading this right?
Yeah, that the 157. So if we were to just double the parental leave, then that's how much we would have paid out in parental leave. Now, most of the time, if they don't take or don't have the parental leave, or they want longer, they're using sick leave. So, to me, they're using it anyways. I mean, they're using their sick leave. This would just allow them to get paid under the parental leave and not use sick leave, which has its own benefits. I know that, there are multiple situations where, babies are born, and if they need to be in the NICU, or maybe, 3 months into it, they have to be hospitalized. There's lots of things that happen when you have a child. And so having your sick leave to cover that is, I think is a benefit, because they've been able to use their parental leave when the child is first born or adopted or fostered or whatnot. So
this basically doubles the parental leave.
doubles the
4
parental leave
weeks.
to 4 weeks and keeps the medical maternity the same.
So basically 4 and 4 for somebody that, let's say that they had a baby and then they could do this in 4 weeks.
Yep,
Parental.
yep. So they physically have the baby, they take the 4 weeks of medical maternity first, and then they take the 4 weeks of parental leave.
So right now it's at 4 and 2.
4 and 2.
Okay, so we're really adding 2 weeks to the formula. Is that,
Yes.
am I understanding that
Yes.
And
correctly?
you're adding 2 weeks to all the people who aren't physically having a baby,
Yes.
whether it be a father or a foster parent.
Yeah,
Or
Adoptive
adopted.
parent.
but we're not changing the maternity.
We're not
The
changing-
person having a baby. I guess that's the part I probably struggle with the most.
Well, they'll still be able to, though, Commissioner Ford, they'll still get an additional 2, but it'll just be under the
Yeah.
parental leave.
So they'll get,
Okay.
they'll get the 4 weeks
Yeah.
of medical maternity, and then if we extend the parental leave, they would get 4 weeks. So when you physically have the baby, you have 8 weeks.
8 weeks, okay.
Hey,
You
They're-
get the 8 weeks, but it's just
They're-
helping out
okay, I get
people who are not having the child physically. It's helping them out
Yeah,
a
okay.
little more.
All right.
Yes.
So we're
yes.
not increasing one over, the person having the baby could still have the
Yes,
additional 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
I-
And, yeah.
I get
and-
it.
And then I would like to say after 6 months of employment instead of 12.
Is that
So,
the standard?
That's the standard with everybody. I mean, the state of Utah's immediately, Salt Lake County is 12 months of employment, Davis County is 6 months of employment. So Utah County, 6 months of employment. So yes, I would say the standard to receive this benefit is 6 months. Now, what that means is, most people will be off their probation, because probation is 6 months, except for our sworn staff, their probation is 12 months. But, and then FMLA hits at 12 months. So you have to be at the county 1 year before FMLA kicks in, which is, I think, why we had originally said you have to be at the county a
Yeah.
year. But, if somebody is not eligible for FMLA and they're having a baby, they're still taking the time off. We still give them the time off. You know, whether they take it unpaid or, you know, what we currently have. I mean, you know, there are other laws that protect them from taking the time off to have the baby.
They may not
So-
get paid during that time,
Correct. They may not get paid or using their sick.
or if they had sick leave, okay?
Yes, but this allows them after 6 months of employment to start getting paid for.
Okay, so is this your recommendation?
This is my recommendation, yeah.
That's what I
Well,
wanted.
there you go.
Commissioner Harvey,
There you go. I'll support that
I'll
then.
support that.
Commissioner Bowles,
Yeah.
sounds like you got a deal.
Okay, sounds good. Then I will put the
Get
policy
ready for-
together and send it over to Cortland to review.
There you go,
Orland,
Mr. Ambassador.
put your close eyes on that, you never know.
I will
We don't need any ploys here.
No, the old.
Let's just sneak things through all the time.
All right,
Okay, that's it. Thank
wow, Emily comes in and gets everything, you've
You've
been real nice today. Thanks, Emily.
Short and sweet.
Wow, we've got 20 minutes by my watch.
Would you like a motion to cease to saunter?
I would like that.
So moved.
No, how about a motion to saunter?
Yeah, motion to saunter.
That's right.
I'll,
I'm just ready to move right along.
okay, I'll second or first that, however that is.
All right, the motion that I way understand it is to saunter
Yeah.
until 3 PM this afternoon.
There you
All
go.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're sauntering.
Okay. When we're
Okay.
not recording, I have a
We go.
All right,
Okay,
cooking,
yeah, I can hear me.
okay, good. Somebody's talking.
Felix, turn your mic down, please, on yours or whatever.
That work. I think that.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I took it out of the. Okay.
There we go. Felix, you back with us?
Yep. That's what we wanted to highlight here. So I think we'll just have Nate Reeve, explain what we're looking at here.
Okay, please do.
So, commissioners, thank you for allowing us to be here today. In preparation for this meeting, we did watch the YouTube video of the last time this was discussed. And it was crystal clear on what we needed. In addition, Gary, Tucker, and I have also had multiple conversations to make sure that we were presenting this in a correct fashion.
I think this is our second or third iteration of this, right, Nate?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Jump back and forth a little bit on that.
We did. We originally did the traffic study here for just the original Longhorn property about 2 years ago. We updated it and then updated it again based upon additional impact or questions from engineering. What we wanted to do, typically we don't prepare these as part of a traffic impact study, the exhibit. What this does is it allows you to look at it graphically without studying the 70 pages of could be construed as sort of boring information. This narrows it down. So what I like to do is we have about 300 units. I like to use round numbers just because that helps us to remember it all. So we have about 300 units in a very large regional park that's going into the Longhorn project. So we have main 2 access points, 7100 that comes down to 900 south, 6700 that also goes down to 900 south. So as part of this study, we looked at what do those intersections look like? What improvements need to be done? At the 7100 West, so 7100 West is the current Vaquero. Vaquero phase 1 that we actually designed years ago. Coming down at that intersection, I don't know, Felix, if you can zoom in on that top piece.
Yeah, that's right.
Looking at the AASHTO guidelines that Gary and I and Tucker discussed, go to the very top one, 7100, the top guy, keep panning up. So what is shown in red there is some tapering and some queue lengths that need to be modified. So in essence, the right-hand turn lane is you are westbound on 900 south, you take that right turn lane into 7100. There is some widening and some improvements that needs to be done there. That's probably the minimal side. What we did is we also looked at the traffic impact study at the split. How many people are going to be coming into 71 compared to 6700? Talking with Gary and Tucker, we concluded that 32% will go up 7100. We are looking just at the original Longhorn project. Pretty much they live directly north of 7100. They're going to come in here. If not, they're going to come in on the 6700 side. So the majority of the traffic is going to use 6700 instead of 7100. So if we can, maybe you can pan down, Felix, a little bit. We'll look at 6700. So 6700 also needs some widening. Nothing extensive, but it does need some widening on 900 south so that we make sure we have the storage and the correct taper. But where we get into more significant improvements is on 6700. The intersection does need to be widened out. Right now, most of 6700 is right around 20-ish to 22 feet wide. So we are inside of that traffic impact study showing that we are widening the 6700 West intersection going north to the full county standard of asphalt, not just widening to 24 feet. We're widening to 36 feet of asphalt so that we can get all of the turning movements inside of that intersection. We realize that next to zero traffic does go westbound currently. but there is enough of a queue of people trying to turn eastbound that we do feel like there is enough traffic to warrant a westbound turn lane. So that's what we have striped there. So if you want to pan down a little bit, and then going all the way up 6,700, we show widening. Sorry if that's really small.
Okay.
We show widening going all the way up. Let me zoom in up here. We show widening going all the way up. We are widening on the west side of 6,700. And then we are doing some very large radiuses that go into the Meibos access that's there more on the left side of the screen. And to accommodate that. These by no means are engineering plans. What is represented here is just what's inside the traffic impact study. And we will continue to work with engineering and get those plans revised to a construction standard. But yeah, there is improvements that do need to happen to 6,700.
How wide how much asphalt?
We are widening that. Currently it's 20 to 22. We are widening it to a minimum of 24 feet wide until we get in that intersection, and then it's going to 36 feet wide.
Okay.
And Commissioner, we talked about what we would call kind of a storage lane length at the intersection. Nate, I believe we discussed 150. Does that resonate with you?
It does. So what we have, we looked at the queue length in 6,700. Yeah, that's important, I think, to all of us. And right now, the queue length during a peak hour is 4 vehicles. So we have 4 vehicles. We always use the F-150 as like the custom size to that, so it's about 100 feet. So we have 100 feet of queue, and then we have tapers that go back at an AASHTO standard.
Yeah. And the length of those tapers is determined by how much you're widening it. An equation of that and the speed of the road, the posted speed.
What is the speed on that?
35.
35, is it 35?
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is quite surprising that it's, a glorified driveway, but it is 35.
Yeah, it's a hay road. Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't mean everybody's driving that, Commissioner, but that's what it's supposed to.
No, I've
Mhm.
been out there enough.
What's Meibos access is it about what south?
That is a great question.
Probably like seventh
Seven,
south or
yeah,
so.
about 700.
12th Street at that location is actually 950 south right there, so it's just a couple hundred feet north of it.
Yeah, the homes I built across the street from there were about 700 to 730
Yeah,
south, so.
and we haven't had it addressed yet, Commissioner, so, but that
Yeah.
would be what it comes.
It's gotta be around that.
Yeah.
I did bring full copies of this, but a lot of times it's easier just to sort of zoom in because of the
Yeah,
scale.
no, I like that. So it looks like you've got turn lanes on both 71 and 67. You're
Mhm.
widening 67. Will you do anything on 71?
71, the approach coming into 900 South off of 71 is already built to the full width of county standard. It's got
Okay.
curb and gutter, it's got sidewalk. And it's at the full width currently.
It even has trail on the east side of the
Oh,
road
yeah.
right there.
And full wide trail on the east, correct?
On the east side?
Yeah.
Okay, Felix, what else?
I think that covers it. Yes.
Okay, questions, commissioners,
Are you comfortable with this?
Yes.
It's my only question.
Commissioner Harvey?
I got a few questions.
Well, then fire away. Are they gonna be in Italian or?
No.
English?
Oh, but that was really cute.
I'm just honoring your 2 weeks over there.
Okay. F-150's how long?
20 feet long.
Okay, so you're adding 5 feet of separation between the F-150 and the stacking.
That is correct.
Okay, so, good, nice job, Nate.
Well, thank you.
Good job. I'd like to find a way to say yes here, but I've got some questions. I've been thinking about this in the middle of the night, as you guys would know. So right away, so you're talking about widening these roads. Do we have the
The right of way dedication.
yeah,
The right of way does, we did look into that, and the current right of way is existing.
I believe he's correct.
What do you mean believe?
Well, the reason is my department doesn't really generally trace out the
Yeah.
parcel widths. That's surveyed, but I wanna say I talked with Jeremy and we were.
I want to verify that. I want to
I'd be happy
verify
to.
that we've got them on 900 south. I'm not
900,
so,
I can tell you we're good on.
900 south, we should be solid.
Yeah, I just got done acquiring 100 feet from everybody a few years ago. We're
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
yeah, I know.
That was a painful exercise, so I can assure you we're.
Oh, and I got some people that you can still talk to.
Yes.
Does this give us enough? Yeah, 100, okay, great. My only thing on this is, look. Pat, you're trying to get this developed in, and it meets our master plan, right? It's got approval there. Here's one thing I want, you're gonna hate me on this, but I think it's the right thing to do. I'd like to give, the first since there's gonna be a lot of development out there. I'd like to give the first developer, chance to recoup his money for doing these improvements. But I'd like him to put a little more up. Because one of the things you've got there, Nate, you've got stacking there on 6,700. 4 cars might be the case today. But what is it when you add another 300? You said you like round numbers. When you add another 300 there, and how many trips a day to and from the school? Now you can go the back way out 6,700. I know that, to get up into Plain City, and people will do that. People may come from Vaquero over there, or they may come over once they know, but I'd like to suggest putting in a light. And putting in a light out there, just like they've done up at 4,700, but having Mr. Burns be able to recoup that money from the other people who come in and use that in a pioneering agreement. That'd be my suggestion. Then all these improvements and everything else go away. But what I don't want to see happen, we make all these improvements and then that stack goes from 4 cars to 12. And trying to get across there at 50 miles an hour coming down that road, especially with those big trucks. I wouldn't want to put my wife, a young wife with some kids in the car, trying to make that left turn, which most of them are going to do, to get to the schools or to the market or whatever they do, depending wherever that commercial growth is. We're a little early, but so that we can find a way to say yes to this, that's what I'd suggest we do. Those are I like everything else I've heard. I didn't think I was going into this. I thought I was gonna have to make this up, but the traffic study's good. And I'm glad, you did a good thorough job on that. I don't remember this 2 or 3 weeks ago being this thorough, but I'm glad it's here. And the visual does help. So that's my suggestion. That is a county road, it's not a UDOT road there, so that's one of the things we could do. And then as the improvements start to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Is the asphalt good enough out there though, when they did the relaying of that asphalt? You know, when you stop a truck that heavy, remember it
Yeah.
starts to cup that, right? You
Yeah,
taught me
it
that.
does. Everything's holding up very, very well out there. The addition of a signal there may change that. But we also determined too that we think we had some failures in the mix over there at 4,700.
Right, I remember that.
So I think that had to do.
We paid for that partially too.
It was warranted by Staker Parson.
Good.
They replaced it at their cost, so.
I realized this is years ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's needed, and if things are gonna keep growing the way they are, this is the first duck on the water, really.
It is.
I'm other than Vaquero, this is gonna be the first duck on the water, and it's of significant enough. Right behind Meibos is gonna be another one, right? There's another, well, you've got the other one that's planned that's north of Vaquero. What's that one called? Longhorn?
Longhorn.
Yeah.
So you got Longhorn, and then you got Meibos right there, and then it's just gonna keep going. That's why I think and then you let all those other guys pay for it. So he doesn't have to shoulder all the expense.
The only thing to consider with that, Commissioner, is that Gary in engineering did have us go through a warrant analysis study. So we did do a warrant analysis to see if it was if it was required or needed at this location. And there's multiple steps and multiple things that we do look at. It doesn't meet any of those current warrants. There's also a lot of traffic data from UDOT that does show once the signal goes in, the safety and the crash data in an intersection increases.
Increases, but the severity goes way down.
That is correct.
So I understand that. My thing is though, is let's say we don't do a light out there. At which point then, does the next guy come in and have to do the light, and then they're trying to get pioneering back from Meibos and Longhorn? I mean, this is the danger. We talked about this at length 5 and 6 years ago. About is it more damaging to the first guy in, which I kind of see this is, or the last guy in, how this goes? We have to make a decision here as a body of commissioners, how that goes. I just want it to be fair. If the damage goes to the first guy, I certainly want the first guy repaid. That's all there is to it. I want it to be fair. But if it goes to the last guy, then you're gonna have little bits and squat pieces out there. You know, where's the limit? Is it, you said, you talked about the, whatever it was, is it 300? Is it 500? Is it 700? Pretty soon. And then how many people have to be in? You can say all you want, but there's been the traffic study out there already shows several accidents, and many of them are fatalities out there. And I know because one of my dear friends is one of them. So this kept me up at night the last 2 weeks, at least a couple of nights, thinking about this. How do I say yes and be responsible and remembering my history? And that's what I've come up with. Okay, I'm done, thanks.
You're done? You're sure?
Well, no, but yeah.
Last opportunity. Commissioner Bowles, any?
I think if we start talking about signals, then I think we need to look at the whole road and decide where they need to be.
Yeah.
You know, by spacing, that makes more sense to me than, I mean, I know that you'll see numbers at one intersection, you know, increase before others. But to have a plan of this is the distance we want those, that makes more sense to me than just saying this is first in, so we need to address it now. Maybe we don't. Distance wise, the spacing wise, I mean.
Spacing. Okay, so here's why I'm at. Appreciate the study. It's exactly what I wanted to see. Appreciate for the slow cook, but I think we made a lot of progress by having you show up for this. As far as the semaphore, you know, I don't disagree that we're at some time in the future, it's gonna need additional support. But I can tell you this, I worked enough with UDOT and working through UDOT on lights and roundabouts that there will become a time when that's needed. You've got a lot of things happening out west right now. I've asked planning to look at revising general plan basically from 4,700. As we look at these, we've got the potential for North Legacy 177, as a UDOT refers to, coming in. So I don't mind putting something in the development agreement that would, if and when that came about, you know, based upon a time frame, and again, it's pretty far out. I don't think it's gonna be needed until you get a lot of other factors out there. Inland port, you get where UDOT's gonna be on 177, and then you put together the transportation plan based upon what the driving factors that, is it commercial, is it residential, where is it? But I think Harvey, as much as I respect where you're going, I think it's a little premature to say, let's put it right there now, because it could turn out that's a bad location as we look at the overall development.
That's what I think.
So, and I don't know how we write that in the development agreement, that Pat at some point in time would have to participate if that came about, based on the number of lots, or more importantly, based on the impact that the traffic is generated from his particular developments.
Could I maybe offer a thought to that, Commissioner?
Yeah.
Similar to what Nate mentioned here about in regards to the analysis, the current need for a stoplight that is part of a traffic impact study, and we did have him evaluate that.
Right.
Commissioner Harvey, I don't wanna negate your concern there, I fully.
Oh, you're negating it.
No, no, however, welcome back, by the way. I do think if you wanted to, you could put something in the development agreement that says that when the day comes for a traffic signal to be installed there, when we meet the warrant, you could put some language in there that says you prorate Pat's cost based on what his subdivision is currently generating. And we could take counts and we could determine that, and it could be, I'm just gonna randomly throw a number out, similar to what Nate did. Maybe 20% of the traffic from Pat's subdivision is causing the warrant to trigger for a signal at that intersection, or 30 or 40, or good heavens, I don't know what it's gonna be, right? But in the day, whatever that percentage is, it's pretty easy to throw a counter up there where Meibos would tie into 6,700, and I can put a counter there, and I can put a counter at the intersection, and I can tell you exactly what percentage it is of that movement.
It would be no
That's what you're
different than
saying.
what we did at Snow Basin for the John Lewis,
Exactly,
with working with UDOT on that.
exactly.
I get that, and listen, you're bringing me along here just fine. Thing.
Sure, good.
My thing is now, okay, let's say this goes through and you got your thing, or there's no light. But then all of a sudden, he's halfway through this development, building it out, and all of a sudden, oh, there's another one that's approved, and there's another one. And whoever is the developer out there doing this. And now all of a sudden, he's got an additional burden on that subdivision that he didn't originally budget for or plan. I don't know how that's fair. If I was the developer out there, I don't know how that's fair for me. You know, all of a sudden I got this, and now you could say, well, it's part of the development agreement up front, that he would have to be responsible. Are you saying he'd have to be responsible to rat hole some money over the side just in case that happens through that?
Yeah, but it would be prorated based off of what his contributing percentage is to the total counts warrant, triggering the warrant.
Everything you've said,
Does that make
Commissioner, I understand. I'm just trying to be ahead of the curve, because I think we all know he's making this happen. I think he's got the will serve. If not, it's coming quick for LMSA to get the sewer, or for however that's happening. I mean, once he gets this going, it'll start to crank and it'll start to go quick. Not to mention the construction vehicles added to that intersection.
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess the only thing we could do is, and that's gonna cause a firestorm, so if we slow down traffic going out to Western Z or whatever they call it.
Well, I think that's the exact reason that we do a traffic study and then look at the impact. And again, if it's prorated, let's say that Penrod is on the south side, decided to put in units, it'd be a prorated share. So I would assume that any development then that take place in addition to Pat's out there, we could write the same thing into their development agreement.
Correct.
Then based on that traffic study, you agree to pay on a warrant basis so much per impact.
Yeah. Yep.
So to me, that's the fairest way to go, that Pat's not burdened with it. His impact has to be paid at some point in time, but only after that's been proven with a traffic study. And then somebody else is gonna have to pay some more. I don't know. Is that feasible?
It is. The only concern I have is that we would need to have something probably spelled out in the agreement.
Yeah.
To determine the amount, so that we have that being held for a certain period of time. Because if we don't, it's gonna be hard to go back and get that.
That's what I was thinking.
It's hard to recapture it. I
If
agree
you
with
can
that.
come up with that and get that all in there and the language is right, so it protects, then I can be a yes on this.
Well, I think we could come up with a formula based on the number of units that we see. Let's call it 300.
Sure.
And we know what the impact is. So what would be the general, you could come up with those numbers.
Absolutely. We know what we're entitling with this subdivision.
Yeah.
And then as the other subdivisions come
Yeah.
along, we're gonna know what we're entitling lot wise into those. We can model that with each one of them. As each subdivision comes along, I'm gonna ask for a same traffic impact study that I asked for from Pat on this. And then we can come back and say, okay, when that trigger is met, when the warrant is met, okay, here's where we're at. We know X% came from here, Y came from here, and Z came from here, or whatever however many participating subdivisions there are.
Sure.
And we
Look,
just track it moving
And I
forward.
think, Gary, though, along with that, I mean, I like to use real numbers. Typically, we see an intersection that goes from glorified driveway to a full movement signalized intersection is about $1.5 million. That's what it takes usually to upgrade them. Pat is already putting in a lot of the striping, a lot of widening. So Pat's gonna probably be into this 300 grand worth of intersection improvements.
Alright.
Yeah, already of
Like,
what we know he needs to do.
Which would be considered his participation, part of his participation.
Yeah, that should be.
That is correct, and but to signalize that, what would probably happen is that 100-foot full width maybe go to 200. So whoever comes in next, besides putting in the actual signal, so I don't know if the 1.5 million takes his contribution is the 300,000 right now. Inside of that, a lot of times we see them just based off of traffic impact studies. His traffic impact study says right now, he has to do $300,000 worth of improvements.
I
If
don't
the
wanna
pin
put a
rods
number
across the streets, it developed, their traffic impact study says they gotta do X improvements, maybe they're the next 300,000.
And Commissioner, I appreciate what you just said. I don't really want, Nate, thank you, by the way. I don't want to put a number to this right now either. I would rather it be a percentage. Because we don't know if it's gonna trigger in 1 year, 10, 20,
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
I
it
respect
happens.
that. That was in the back of my mind and cause I realized those pioneer agreements expire after
Yes.
so many years, 5 or something.
Yeah, I just don't know
That's the
how,
danger.
how we put a time on this, because until you see what really happens out there, which could be 10 more years, 15 more years, who knows?
Absolutely.
Well, and I think an overall plan for the spacing is important too.
Yes,
This might not end up being the intersection
that's correct.
where we want to signal.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, my opinion is Pat's willing to do what I wanted, what we asked him to, which taking care of his traffic, his development on the current road. I don't know if we can ask him to take care of something 10 or 15 years down the road.
Oh, I like to ask him. I could.
Well, you can ask him.
anything.
Well, I'm not opposed to asking, I just don't know if it's fair.
And I wanna be, that's my thing, is I just wanna be fair.
to that point.
I wanna be,
All right, I'm ready to move ahead with this.
Yeah.
I think we've had enough discussion. He's been slow cooked enough. I can see the steam coming out of his ears, so.
Okay,
Um,
thank you all for.
and listen, but to that, and you made that statement, that's kinda hung with me too. It can be painful when you're trying to pioneer stuff, you know? Pioneers didn't have a freeway, a paved road when they came from Kirtland, Ohio to here, you know? They had to, in fact, they'd have come down Weaver Canyon if it was paved, but they didn't do that. They had to make some changes and come down Immigration Canyon. So yeah, you've had to come here a lot of times, but a lot of this stuff hasn't been done by virtue of we're not ready. We're just not ready out there. And that's just how it goes, you know? So there will likely be some more pain, but that's just the pain of pioneering.
All right,
There's the
Commissioner
title
Bullish,
for
you
your
okay
book.
moving ahead on that? Commissioner Hardy, you okay
Yeah.
moving ahead?
With the things that we just talked about, if they're in the development agreement, I can be to a yes.
Okay,
Great.
see what we can work out. I'm gonna leave that up to Gary to get language in there that makes sense.
We'll probably hear this again, what, September, October?
No, it's gotta go faster than that.
Just, yeah, just.
I was ready to throw water on him, and we didn't.
You're okay with July? All right,
Okay, thank you.
so you got one other item here, West Creek Rezone.
Yes. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how you want me to present a rezone or what the next steps would be. A year and a half ago, I came and presented a couple options, and the long and short was, hey, wait just a little while. So I've waited. We have 200 acres, basically, all the people around me that all want to come in and rezone. So my
Is this one at
question,
5100?
yes,
Okay,
right next to the M&T zone with Black Pine. You guys have heard of them before?
Who? Sorry.
Sorry. So, yeah, we are definitely ready to move forward with that. And we've got, I'm not sure what my plans are. Is this my plans here?
Mm-mm. I didn't bring those with me.
Sorry, I had them earlier. I didn't know that.
You don't have it.
Sorry.
It doesn't look like
I
that.
know, but, okay, Mr. Chair, I'm familiar with where he's.
I think we know what you're talking about. So the question is you've got several neighbors around you that would like to come in.
Yes, and they've reached out to me and said, hey, we want to develop, Pat, we want, basically, will you run it for us? I'm not opposed to that. I said, look, I can do it, but I wanted to talk to the commission and see what their thoughts were. Would you rather me work with 200 acres? Do you want me to just bring my ground in and we work with my ground? That's why I just want to kind of get a direction from you guys, because it cost me a lot of money to start putting all this together. I'd rather just get direction of what you guys were thinking than me diving in, put a bunch of work and you say, why'd you even do that? So.
Okay, well, I think I mentioned to you earlier that I met with planning here the last week or so, based upon a lot of it driven by our UDOT discussion, that I'd like to, and I know Commissioner Bolos has asked for the same thing, is to take a revised look at our general plan, and probably not the entire western Weber County, but from 4,700 west, so that we can look at the developments that we've actually have applications on. And if we have to make some revisions in that general plan that exists now, I would rather do that after we complete that. I'm gonna call it a revision of West Weber County general plan. Not the entire thing. I want to break it down into the areas that we know, potential for Legacy North, and then get it back and talk to residents out there and decide if we're headed the right direction. Because we put that in, what, 3 years ago, we did that?
I talked to Rob White at UDOT here too, just maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he's really put the screws on those planners of his and said, we gotta get this going.
Well,
And he's saying, he told me, he says, I'm thinking Harvard's gonna be maybe May, June before that's done.
The study, but we may not have a study unless we get UDOT. I met with, well, it's a separate discussion, but I talked to Carlos last week personally.
So you got at least 2 people working on making sure, and Commissioner Bullock making sure that's pushed as fast as they can. You know, I don't know if you've ever tried to push UDOT or the railroad.
All the time.
Yeah, but there's some they know there's some personal interest there, so.
So anyway, Commissioner Ballas, I mean, that was my thoughts, is if we're gonna take a look at that whole area out there, now's the time to do it. We know a lot more than we did 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Now's the time to reevaluate it. Are we headed the right? I just hate doing a plan and then getting stuck, especially now we have additional information that we know what's being requested.
Yeah.
So that'd be my suggestion.
I agree with that, and the more, as far as your application goes, I think the more space, the better.
Yeah.
That we're looking at all at once.
So who is doing this study?
Who's the study for?
The study that we're waiting on?
Utah Department of Transportation.
Yeah, I don't want to wait on that study. That could be 10 years.
Well,
No, it's not.
I've been hearing they'll have that study done for 3 years now.
no,
Well,
I don't trust you as far as I can throw them.
well, we're not gonna wait on, you're talking about the study for Legacy North.
The study that you're talking about.
Well, that's just a revision. No, that won't be 3 years. We can make that happen. How soon?
Well, I think we can start working on just where we're planning on it going and doing that portion of it in probably the next 6 months. And then during that time, hopefully UDOT's got their.
Well, and
they should be.
again, based upon the feedback I'm getting from UDOT, they're either gonna tell us they're gonna work with us or not.
Yeah.
They may come back and tell us, we don't care what you do. So that's why I said there may be a study, there may not. If they come back in and say, we're gonna tell you where it goes, I just want, we're not gonna wait for them. What I'm talking about is, let's look at the developments that we now have applications on. Let's look at the potential just for our development, working with, and part of that now becomes of the inland port, that it starts encroaching on some of that area. I just say, let's take a look at what we've got now on the plan. Forget about UDOT right now. That's either gonna happen or it's not. They'll either listen to us or they're not. But I'm not gonna wait for them.
Yeah, and
I told Carlos that directly.
Yeah, and next week, we're planning on bringing a map to you around
Right.
where the inland port is and talking about some of those developments with the general planning, getting your feedback on that.
Yeah, I'm just talking about making some potential, and maybe we don't change any. I just like to take a look at some potential minor adjustments to the general plan based upon what we know is coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
Rick, if I could ask a question, at the inland port, but we're not part of the inland port, so is the refresh to the DA going to include this property, the 200 acres in question? Don't know that.
I don't know that at
Okay.
this stage of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you.
It may or may not.
So the M&T zone is what I always call it.
Yeah,
It wasn't even thought of when we redid the future master plan.
right.
The planners and I know more about the future master plan for Weaver County than, I mean, not including you guys. I was at every planning session meeting there was for that Western Weaver plan. I don't think I missed one. I maybe missed one for a year and a half. M&T was not even thought of at that point, or it would have been done differently. Now the M&T zone is there. It started. They got the lift station going in. We can look at that really quick and address what the zone needs to be right around those areas. I happen to have already done it, in my opinion. I am a developer. I'm really gonna put my money into it to say this is what that zone needs to be. I want to, we say, hey, let's talk to some of the public out there. Well, I have 200 acres right around there. I've already talked to the public. They actually came to me, the people that own the ground right around me. I know what I want to do. I own the ground. I know what I think would be best. I literally do this for a living. And don't take this wrong, but I don't need a study from somebody from Salt Lake to come out here and study the ground and pay them $150,000 to tell me what to do for a future master plan. When if they have half a brain, it's going to be what I say to do anyway, because I'm willing to invest $100 million to do this correctly. I'm not going to do it wrong. I'm not going to guess and hope that I do it right, because it is what I do for a living. But that's where, if we could just get a meeting with the staff and say, look, we got an M&T zone right now. Really easy. How many jobs going to be coming there? 4,000, 5,000. Okay, we need housing for that. What's the best place to put housing? Right next to the M&T zone. Well, let's get some good attainable housing right next to the M&T zone. Let's don't do third acres. Let's do some nice townhomes, some nice small lots, some of the stuff that we're doing that Nielsen Homes is doing in JDC ranches and stuff. I mean, that's what needs to be done right next to an M&T zone. I mean, I can tell you that. And the reason that wasn't done, not because the staff didn't do their job, because Black Pine didn't do their job. They should have been there faster. And so it was an afterthought after the future master plan was being done. Then Black Pine came in, and that's when it kind of, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I incredible job. Black Pine's done a great job on it.
What's to say though, that area you're talking about is an M&T there, that's more commercial?
Yeah.
That's my argument. I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying about having some housing and that, but what about, what if that area needs to be expanded? I mean, BDO didn't have all the businesses out there when it first started.
Well, that's what the inland port just down the street.
But they grew it. I mean, they saw that vision and they grew that area out there. So what's to say that area out there doesn't even need to be bigger?
Yeah, and a lot of, when we look at this, really, we should be looking at a market analysis of that whole area and how that all transforms into the whole. And sometimes if we don't have that, we're getting a little ahead of the game and just going by what Pat's saying, but we need to look at the whole of the area too. And that comes into play as well. So we look at the general.
I agree with that.
So, I mean, there's a lot of different key components that come into this. And so we want to look at those things as we start the process.
Well, and Pat, just so you know, I'm not looking at hiring an outside firm to study. I want to do this internally. I think so here's what I've got in mind, is we know what the plan is right now. We know what's been asked. We know that we've got other players out there like the Inland Port. We know Weber Basin is just ready to spend 450 million putting in a new water line. We know what LMSA is doing that we didn't know 3 years ago. So let's pull out the map that we've got right now. Let's look at it on a case by case basis and saying, does this particular zone, I'm saying, come in here, lay it on the table, bring some developers in, bring some engineers in and say, does this make sense based upon what we know now, not what we knew 3 years ago? So I don't think we need I don't think we need to hire Salt Lake study that takes 6 months. We know better.
Yeah.
We already know what's happening out there. They don't. So we can set up a hour or 2 hour meeting, whatever we need, bring it in, look at that, and then say, if this makes sense, then and then if we decide, hey, this needs to be changed, we'll get agreement with the commission, then do a public hearing with the planning commission. Make sure the planning commission is involved with this.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking small tweaks. I'm not talking about a total rewrite.
Refresh.
Yeah, I'm just talking, there's some areas that we know are what I call the hot spots.
Mm.
Let's address those. UDOT's either gonna be a player or they're not.
And that's one of them in my mind. That place you're talking about, that's one of them.
So
That's a hot spot.
it is. Well, we know, we've already got, West Bridge approved, right?
Correct.
So we've already committed to that we didn't have 3 years ago. So we know what's coming about. Let's put that and say, look, we know we've got potential for 20,000 homes out there?
Not quite 20,000.
Almost 40,000 people.
So
Yeah.
that's already a given. Again, so let's take that into account as far as what does this future look like for Western Weber County? So I don't think this is gonna take a lot of brain damage to put together. So.
Yeah, no, you put it perfectly, and I agree with you 100%. That makes perfect sense.
How come you don't agree with me?
I did agree with you, except for the stoplight.
He likes it except for your semaphore.
I knew he spinked her up on that one.
But if you would have gone to a roundabout, now we're talking.
Yeah, yeah. Boy, yeah, 3 times the money.
All right, I think we'll do that. I'll work with planning. We'll set that up. We may need an hour and a half. I think we just get everybody in the room and lay it on the table.
Be great.
And we want to make sure planning's here, get the input. And then, we'll go to a couple of public hearings if we need to. We'll get it done.
Okay, sounds great.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right, you got it.
Okay, thank you, appreciate your time.
Thanks for being with us.
Right here.
Okay.
Do I keep going?
I knew Pat is tied up. As soon as I mentioned that light.
Okay,
Are you ready? How long are you gonna be?
just a couple minutes, but we're missing, Lauren had to leave and I'm missing my attorney,
Okay,
which is kind of important, but.
I took it out.
let's handle it if you want to do it.
Okay.
I still got Commissioner Harvey with me. Of course, it's past his bedtime.
We can at least give you guys an overview if you have time and then.
Yeah, I'd be
Make a
good.
decision.
Let me just a second, make sure I don't have anything else.
No, it's fine for everybody to.
Do you want me to send everybody in or just wait?
Yeah, send them in.
Send him in. How you doing?
Is this the?
Great. Thanks
Steph,
for having me.
is this the 4 o'clock here?
No, this is a 3:15.
3:15.
Shoot us.
What happened to my schedule?
My 4 o'clock is here?
Okay, don't send them in. But
Well, I'm gonna stay for
We're
a
gonna do
few
my
minutes.
3:15 and the 3:30 really quick.
All right, let's do the 3:15 to 3:30.
Yeah.
PID governing.
It's in the 3:15.
No, you're with me and that's a different meeting and we'll start that in a minute.
You're on the 3:30 meeting though.
Send them on this, it's fine.
What up?
How are you?
How you doing there?
Okay,
Okay, the PID.
okay.
Commissioners. So we're the three,
This
for
is
those
the
that may be.
3:15.
I'll be there in just a
3:30.
minute.
3:15.
No,
It says also on there.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead, Stephanie.
wait, you get, yeah.
I'll get there. So commissioners, Promontory PID is looking to do an amendment to their districting. And I'll let Matt pop in just a second, explain this, or Dallin, I don't know who was.
Yeah, no, Matt.
Okay.
Lead us.
So they came and presented to our Economic Development Finance Committee per per our procedure and processes. And the finance committee decided to move it forward to commission, with the caveat that we would not do just a letter, but we would actually do an amendment to their governing document and put this into their governing document. So Matt, if you want to hop in and explain to the commission why we're doing the amendment, that would be great.
You bet. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt Entz with Snow Jensen and Reese. I serve as district counsel to the three PIDs that we're talking about today. Of course, Dallin is there with you. You know him. We also have Kira Carr from DA Davidson. She's our underwriter, in case you have any questions on that front. But we think this is a very straightforward request. And I'm going to share my screen with you because I think it will help to demonstrate what we're looking for. Can everyone see this highlighted document?
Yep, got it.
Okay, this is the governing document that governs the three PIDs. What we're looking for is essentially your consent related to this highlighted section. You'll see here that this says that without the written consent of the county, the boundaries of the three districts shall not overlap. We believe that, and I wasn't part of the original discussions on this, but I think it makes sense that this was here to prevent the tax levy from being levied multiple times on more than one property, which makes sense. District 1 is actually going forward now without a tax levy. We are doing a special assessment, which was contemplated by the governing document. And we're expanding the area of District 1 in order to be able to utilize this special assessment broadly across the project area to support the first bond issuance. And so we're looking for the consent of the county to allow PID 1 to overlap PIDs 2 and 3. And I'm going to switch documents here just to show you what we're proposing. Okay, this is another highlighted document. This is, if you can see this, this is a draft of the proposed amendment to the governing document. This is obviously subject to your council's review. But what we're proposing is to change the language that I just showed you so that it says, without the written consent of the county, the boundary of PID numbers 2 and 3 shall not overlap. The boundary of PID 1 may overlap with the boundaries of PID 2 and 3 on the condition that PID number 1 will not levy a property tax. So the reasoning for this is really just given market conditions, given what's trying to be accomplished with the project, it makes sense for us to do a special assessment bond. And this is really just to facilitate that effort, which is already underway. So I think it's a very straightforward request. Again, this will still prevent property taxes from being levied on overlapping properties. And that's what we're looking for from you. So we're happy to take any questions or address any other issues that you may see with this.
Questions, Commissioner Harvey?
No, and again, just to hear out loud, you're good with this, Steph?
Yes, this is what our committee recommended, and Lauren will do the review. Matt, Lauren can review that with you this week, and then we're anticipating pending Lauren's review and passage through the portal that we can get this on your agenda.
Week from tomorrow?
Yeah, a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
And the reason we're expediting this and getting this through is so that they can go to the bond market,
Yeah.
which is far overdue.
I don't have an issue.
Okay,
So-
yeah, the whole issue there was double taxation on
Exactly.
property tax.
And we're preventing that.
So you solved that.
Absolutely.
That was my only issue.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So if that's
Yeah.
been solved, I'm good.
Okay, great.
Get it on the agenda.
Lauren wasn't here today, Matt, but she said get that language to her ASAP. If you'll copy me, I'll put it into the portal, which allows her to review it. If we can get it reviewed by Friday and approved, we'll put it on the commission agenda for Tuesday.
Okay, I'll send it over today.
Great,
Hey,
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
commissioners.
all right, that took so long.
Glad we didn't cancel you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, what else? CRA.
Very quickly, we've got Andrea and Rob Sant here representing
Yep.
Pleasant View
Welcome.
City, and I'm just gonna let Rob take it over because
Pleasant View.
Pleasant View, yeah.
Wow, you're out north now, huh?
Yeah.
just how I'm helping wherever
No,
people want me to help.
that's good. You're good at it. Okay, go ahead.
So this is for the Rise Bakery that's out there in Pleasant View. They're looking to do an expansion of the facility and add an additional line.
Where is?
That's the old
Is this
frosting
it?
plant, isn't it?
HC Bro.
HC Brill. It's there on
Oh.
2700 on the north side of the street, halfway down.
Right
towards
before the
track.
railroad tracks.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
so this is in Weaver Industrial.
Yeah, no, well, you could be, but I mean, it's just across the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So 170 new jobs is what this expansion would create.
In manufacturing.
Ed TIF qualified jobs. So they're looking for an Ed TIF as well in addition to this. It's 116,000 new square feet of industrial space and $61 million of CapEx investment. And kind of what they're debating is, do we expand the line? They're all over the nation. So do we expand the line? Do we have this be a storage facility, a warehouse? If it's a warehouse, we'll lose that new jobs. And so this really does help create new high-paying jobs in the county. And then they're asking for 15 years, 50%. So it's within your policy.
Give me those again, sorry.
15 years at 50%.
Okay,
So within your policy and what it's anticipated to give you over the 15 years would be 333,000 would come to the county, 333,000 would go to Rise as what your portion would be for that 15-year period. And then what it would help pay for is infrastructure upgrades. So it would make the plant more water efficient, increase air quality, more energy efficiency. So it is tied to improving infrastructure.
what's the cap on it?
It would be the total cap or your cap?
Our cap.
$333,000.
Okay.
Total cap 1.7 million.
Okay.
Not a big one. And it's just a single site. So it's just.
Yeah, it's not real big.
Yeah, it'll be
15 and
triggered.
50. I thought it was 12 and 50.
We go up to 15.
Yeah.
One of the things that our committee did like about this project is that they're putting in some substantial sustainability components that look at water conservation and air quality improvement. And that's something that we feel is very valuable to invest in with some of these companies that are either coming here or expanding, like we did with Chromalox. Chromalox put in that geothermal system.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why we were supportive. And then the really good job creation right there near that industrial area, so.
The committee supported it, right?
We did support this.
Didn't Sean say he wanted to make sure it was the line?
Yeah,
That they were
yeah.
doing the line, not just expanding storage?
Yeah, so
Well, I'm not on, if this is storage, I'm off.
And I'm with.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we would make sure that your interlocal agreement says.
Says that
that
specifically.
it's tied to that. And if
Yeah.
not, deal's gone.
Yeah, Gil's gone.
Yep.
Sorry, I should have mentioned that
Yeah,
also. That
yeah.
was all contingent on.
We're 100%.
Yeah, we won't roll it unless.
Pleasant Views will say the same thing in there.
Yeah,
No questions.
no questions for me.
Great, we'll get a participation agreement together and get that on your agenda.
Great. Thanks, commissioners.
Okay, thanks for being with us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for waiting.
Sometimes it pays to be late. You missed some questions. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I'd entertain a
Motion
motion.
to adjourn?
Second, all those in favor?
All right.
All right, we're adjourned. Thanks very much.